M0AG from his home station on the Far Coast, calling all members of Pennine Ham for the first evening digital net. Weather objections is absolutely superb, which is new. So, first on the list is Jim. I'm not sure whether he just wants to listen and catch him on YouTube, but I've no doubt Keith will tell me where I'm going to first of all. So, Jim, 4 years in the group. Zero, AUG, good evening, Keith.
M0 AUG, the group GM4JKZ. Yes, good evening, Jeff, and one and all. Jim's at his engineering club tonight, so won't be joining us. He'll probably pick up a little bit later. So, chat last night, I enjoyed, although I didn't get too involved. I was tuning around, trying to find our colleagues on that particular frequency. And as I mentioned, I was copying, but very poorly. In fact, strangely enough, later on in the evening, the band did improve slightly, but still not too many stations on the 40 metres, for example. So temperature up here today, 23 degrees currently, overcast, and went out for a nice walk this morning with the dogs in the woods, which was quite pleasant. And radio-wise, not done a great deal. Had sister-in-law up for the last week, so we went out to Bamber Castle. The day before yesterday, rather. She went back yesterday. Bamber Castle, walk along the beach, which was very nice, I must admit. Although the cost of parking is horrendous, but I won't go there. It's obviously aimed at visitors, of course. So with that, I'll put it back to you, and more later on. M0 AUG in the group GM4JKZ.
GM4JKZ. M0 AUG setting. Yes, it's a long time since I was at Bambury, Keith. And I would imagine, like everything else, that the parking has gone astronomically. My brother lives up in the northeast, in Stockton. And when we used to go there quite a bit, we used to go to Bambury. And thoroughly enjoyable walk on the bridge there. Slightly on the surprise of the car park. Okay, more later. Over to you now, ladies. KJJ in the group, M0AG, good evening.
M0AUG in the group, GAKJJ. Yes, good evening, Jeff, and greetings to everyone. The WX in Nottingham, overcast most of the day, some sun, and 20 degrees Celsius. Not a bad day. Got a little bit of gardening done, but spent a little bit of time on the radio. The band conditions for me this week have been quite good. Particularly on 17 metres, worked quite a few stations, JA, US and Chinese stations, but no exotic DX. 6 metres been open several days during the week, but mostly European stations. I think there was one day when stations from the US were coming through, but I didn't work any. Anyway, back to you, Jeff, and a little bit more from me later. GAKJJ.
Yes, part of that afternoon. I haven't had the radio on at all now since this last time I'll be able to do it. I prefer other things going on at the moment, and just can't get me from the radio. So thank goodness that I've got the net on the Thursday evening to keep in touch with everybody. I started on the meeting last night, and as I said to Nick, I muted myself and everything at about 8 o'clock because food was apparent, but I did stay for a little while longer, and it was a good meeting. It's a good suggestion to move around and what people get putting on WhatsApp or whatever. So, back now to Taunton now. G607 group, M0AUG, good evening, Dave.
607 in the group, GA, KJJ. Good evening, Jeff, and greetings to everyone. Good evening, Jeff. 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 And greetings to everyone. Good evening, Jeff.
AUG in the group, G7. Good evening, Jeff. How's my audio now?
Audio's much better now, big to you.
Thanks very much, Jeff. I turned everything up this time, and obviously got the right thing this time. Okay, my apologies for being on the net for a while. Unfortunately, health problems and other commitments just take effect, I'm afraid. So, I'm on for tonight, hopefully next week as well. But, unfortunately, I can never guarantee anything. Radio-wise, hardly touched me. Well, I have touched the radio, but there's nothing but noise here. I took a trip up to London the other week and purchased some new cable, new aerial, and I brought another antenna from Alden and Stanton, both of which is going up on Friday week. The one going up on the house is going to be a 24-footer monoband, and the one on the garage is going to be a multi-band. So interesting what happens when all of this is done, and see if I can actually get anywhere then. Back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, G6ZSM.
Group M0AUG telling. Yes, your audio was nice and clear this evening, and let's have you back again. I know you've had some issues there with what's been changed on 305 and things like that, and also with your changing in the radios and back to DLR, etc. But it's great to have you back on. And also with Andrew for a week or two, so at least busy with other things you can tell us in the next hour. Over to you then, KG4IW in the group. Thought it was a good evening last night. M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IW. Oh yeah, good evening Jeff and everyone else on the net. And yes, I thought last night's meeting was a lot of fun. It was great that Gavin, G5UHF, popped up from the campsite he was staying on to use his radio and make a few QSOs, and a few other people joining in as well. I think we thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope people enjoyed just a little snippet of the feedback that I gave from our WhatsApp group. It's just absolutely astonishing the amount of activity that we've got, not so much on WhatsApp, but on the radio, which is reflected by the people who are in that group posting information, photographs and videos and so on of people's activations and their builds and so on. So I thought that was the most revealing thing for me when I did a look at it. So, and good evening as well to those watching us live on YouTube, and of course also to those who catch up later in the week on YouTube to watch and listen to the digital net. So more next time, Jeff, back to you. M0AUG in the group, G4IWO.
The guy was able to chunk his time on the caravan to secondary active part in the proceedings there as well. Over to you, Bob, now. You've been getting your pulses again. 4 extra alpha tanks in the group. M0AUG, good evening, Bob. Or good afternoon, in your case. M0AUG with group November 4, actually. Good evening to all on the net and all that will be looking at it later. I thoroughly enjoyed last night. It was a very pleasurable afternoon for me, and I really liked the way things turned out last evening. One problem I ran into, Nick, and maybe it's because I haven't done something, you had said that we could go to the top and read all that stuff. I tried it, and mine's blank. Apparently I don't have something turned on that I have to turn on to make that stuff save for me. But I'll have to look into that a bit deeper. Today we're under heat watch, severe heat watch, and it's supposed to last at least through tomorrow. Currently it's 31 Celsius here, 31 Celsius and sun.
ON8NP.
Shelf a triangle in the group. We don't sell for that Bob. I'm not sure whether somebody else is trying to connect as well. So do you want to go again, please? November 4 Shelf a Tango. Mike Alpha Uniform Golf. And Chad said that he could hear me. Well, then Phil checked in UDU, and I could read with a 539 signal. Then later he put up his power to 1,000 watts, and he went up to a 559 signal. Of course, they couldn't hear me with my little bit of power. We had a lot of fun, and I certainly enjoyed that. That's about it from here for now. Jeff, so back to you, M0AUG, November 4, X-Ray Alpha Tango. X-Ray Alpha Tango in the group, M0AUG setting. Yeah, sorry we lost you earlier on. I think we were a couple of stations trying to key up there, Bob, and that last one, so not a problem, got it last time, and look forward to the next round. Oh, hell of a journey now to Macanatiana. The IPGABTW with the IPT. Good evening to you both, and over to you, Mike, please.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. Jeff, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly there, Mike. Please carry on.
M0AUG.
Yeah, thank you for that. Explanation follows at once. First of all, good evening and good afternoon to all listeners and all friends and members of the Pennine Ham. We'll install very quickly something for our Open Spot 3, which finally gave up. I think it died. I tried to revive it, but it seems that the battery has finally given up totally, and it can't be restarted again, even if we try to load it up over several hours. So that's history. I tried to order a new battery for it, but they are out of stock at this moment. So we're not quite sure which way we go from here. But for now, we have revived our old DV4 Mini, and it seems to work. So that's good news. Yesterday evening, great talk and lots of fun. Very good, even to try to make a contact on 40 meters. Given the disastrous situation on the receiving end here, on 40 meters, especially in the evening, but lots of stations knocking out one another. And nevertheless, I made a contact with Phil, G4UDU, and even a relatively clear one. I was astonished that this worked, because our end-fed half-wave, which I used for covered with leaves from our oak tree here in the garden, but nevertheless it worked, so satisfaction. That's a good thing to know. That's all for now. Passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Delta Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Very good evening to all of you. Yes, here in northern Germany, weather conditions are so-so. It's not cold, it's about 20 to 22 degrees, but there are several rain showers, and it's not quite good summer weather, but yes, let's do the best of it. Let's make the best of it. And thank you for yesterday's talk. It was a pleasure to see how the club improved during only 1 year, and all the activities of the members. It was quite fascinating. And yes, that's all for the first over from my side. I hand the microphone back to M0AUG for the group.
With the L1 BJW M0AG tuning. Yeah, thanks both of you for the overs. I did suspect last week or the week before, Mike, when you said you were having problems with the open spot 3. This is the disadvantage of having the battery actually built into the open spot. And to be honest, it was one of the reasons why I never upgraded from my open spot 2. I still use the open spot 2, and when I'm away in the hotel or whatever, I install a little power bank if I can plug it into, and it does the job for me. So I think I was sticking with the open spot 2 for quite a while. I think the same issues occur on the open spot 4, of course, which is why now we're offering replacement batteries for both of them models. Good to have you back on this evening. Over to you there, Jeff, in Belgium. What's going to be the number Tango? What's going to be the number Tango? Mike 0, Alpha Uniform Golf.
Mike 0, Alpha Uniform Golf, the group over November Tango. A very good day to everyone, and a very good day also to the people on YouTube. Weather-wise, it's beautiful weather. During the past couple of days, we had thunderstorms and lightning and heavy winds and so on, so was not that good. And Dave, G6ZSN, nice to catch up again with you, and your audio is absolutely very good. It's very understandable, so no problem at all there. And the Zoom session from yesterday, I really enjoyed that, and nice to try to have a contact with some people. I had a contact with Nick, and I could work Russell, although he could barely copy me, so that's not that bad, I think. But anyway, I'm more and more convinced that my vertical mobile width is not that good for nearby stations. I think it's much better for far-off stations. Okie doke. I got some inspiration from the Zoom session. I actually got my very old headphone from Kenwood, the Honda Sierra 4, which is 45 years old, more or less. I just got that back from the airport, and I'm trying to use that and see how that, but anyway, it's still working. Just see less speaking than other headphones that I use. And I was also fascinated by the Delta loop that Ken was using, but after some research and so on, that seems to be too good to be true. An antenna of 10 meters, Delta loop, 10 meters all around, working from 40 to 10 meters or even 4 meters, that might be not true, actually. I'm just wondering what the balloon is. Ken said it was a 1 to 4 balloon, but I'm not sure about that. Anyway, okie doke, more in the next over. Mike 0 AUG, the group over there, everything.
Yes, fine and all that, Jeff. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted at the beginning of that when you were coming on from Macinal Jana. We just had a text message and that one of our friends is in hospital and it's in intensive care. So obviously that just took our minds away from the subject of saying, well, he's handling that completely normal. So sorry for the interruption, everybody. Back to the top of the list there. GM4JKZ, the group M0AG.
AUG, the group GM4JKZ. I'll just take a drink. Dry up here. Your friend, it's the positive side rather than negative side for your pal there. Not good having to go to the hospital, etc. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, what was interesting about the parking charges, dare I say it, if you wanted up to 4 hours, it was almost in 2 digits. It was £9 for 5 hours. And the reason it sort of took me aback was the fact that up in Scotland, of course, you don't pay to park unless you're in the middle of Glasgow or the middle of Edinburgh. And if you're out and about elsewhere, then parking's free. In fact, in all the villages and small towns, no parking meters, just find a slot and park up, it's grand. So that was a bit of a shock. Plus thousands of people, because we'd forgotten the school holiday period, and the holiday makers, or should I say, the Cornish brothels that came up. Many of those, but it was lovely sitting down on the sandy beach, I must admit. The other things we've been playing with this week on the radio, not for very long, but I did enjoy copying down the ISS pictures. I managed to get 19 altogether, 3 reasonably good ones, which I've shoved on my closet page. And it was interesting to do comparisons with Jeff. We've been emailed each other a couple of times to see the difference between the images that we'd captured, and in some instances they were very, very similar, with noise bands in the same place. So that was good fun. Looking forward to the next one. So, the other thing I was going to say was membership numbers. I was staggered at the membership numbers you mentioned yesterday, so perhaps we might top 100 before we get into August, so that would be fun, wouldn't it? Most definitely. And open spots, etc. I'm a true believer of the old Pi Star because there's 2 versions of software you can use on them, the normal Pi Star and the upgraded I can't remember, WSP, whatever it is, software, I can't remember off the top of my head. But if all goes wrong, you just reload it or throw the SD card away if that's the problem, and reprogram it, stick it in. But touch wood, the 2 that I've got running up on my bench here for D-Star and DMR have been running for well over 18 months with no problems, and I do turn them off occasionally in the evenings, just so I have a bit of a rest. So I do like those, I must admit. So, the only other thing, I've got to sort out my battery power supply. So you've got a 1-day power cut coming up in August. So I want to ensure that I can keep I've got a UPS system running here on the router and the distribution system for the mesh I've got here, but I need to put a battery back up onto the router and the other systems. So that's what I'm looking at the moment, using LiPo cells. So back to you, Jeff, before I lose my voice. M0AUG with the group, GM4JKZ.
GM4JKZ, the group M0AUG, telling us final objective. I've little experience in Pi at all, as Dave well knows. Dave and I first talked about, I don't know, it must be nearly 3 years ago, when Dave wanted to join this group, and I was away at RSGB convention or something, and spent most of my spare time with Dave trying to get him up and running with the Pi there. And eventually, with the assistance of Charlotte from the Oldham Club, JKJJ in the group, M0AG.
M0, AUG in the group, GKJJ. Yes, thanks, Jeff. Well, over the past week, I've been working on the 15-meter diamond loop, which uses the 10-meter delta loop as the bottom section of the antenna. The idea is that telescoping 10-meter loop can be easily converted into a 12-meter or a 15-meter full-wave antenna. And since the antennas are not permanent, they can be put up and taken down in just a few minutes. They'll be used when the bands are open, or those particular bands are open. And of course, being able to take them down so easily, the neighbours aren't going to get too worried when they see the 15-meter loop go up. As you know, the 10-meter and the 12-meter loops are already working and quite good on the DX, but not so good on European or local use. One of the problems I've got is that the loop antenna is very close to the cobweb I use, and it can, although I can lower the cobweb about 10 feet, there must be some sort of interaction between the two antennas, and I wondered if anybody had experienced anything similar, where you've got two antennas very close together, and although you can't move one of them completely. Anyway, I'll pass it back and see if anybody's got any comments on that. M0, AUG at the group, GAKJJ.
JKJJ in the group, M0AG, returning. Can't help on that one, personally, no, but I'm sure somebody will come back on that in a minute or two. Over to in Taunton, G607 group, M0AG.
Easy. First of all, I was playing AD for myself, just to tie up together last weekend we did before, and in the end I transferred over to the iPhone. He was recording very, very bad audio and signal from the AC. I will keep trying the AC and see if I can find out why. There's a clue of it, but at the moment I just don't know what to do. We'll just keep trying, that's all I can do. The only thing is working well. Jacob Wilson, thanks very much. Glad to be back on, although it's always periodic with me, I'm afraid. It just depends how I feel on any evening. Please, you were mentioning parking and charges. I went to park my coach in St. Paul's, or at St. Paul's, many, many years ago. And even back in the 80s, they had a diesel car and coaches to park. I took one look at the price and just ignored it and sat in the coach. If anyone would come, I would set up have I already just put it road over him, and I would have moved in one other block or whatever. But yeah, some parking charges can be extortionate, and there is no way I can pay, I'm afraid. But we'll move back to it and have to pay a lot of this nowadays. With regard to the 2-hour test, and got an earlier guy coming in, he doesn't know about the second test yet, but we were into the I'd ask if you did play earlier. I don't see why it shouldn't be used, because if you this one, well, it's hopefully very quick. We can't just tune on 8 weeks or so, and some other reason, I don't know. I've got tickets to go to Hamfest this year again for the first time in many years. Not sure if I'll see anyone up there, or if any of the old group will be there. Yes, I'll see you when we get there. And so, G6.
Yeah, personally, Dave, I'm not a fan at all of all the transporting that goes on outside of the gateways. And I have a theory that the transporting that takes care outside of the gateways interferes in the inbuilt transporting that's already in the gateway. And so there's getting on around that one as well. So if you can stick on the native modes and use the official access ways of getting into the modes, then you're fine. So there we are, my opinion. What was he then? G4IWO in the group, M0AEG.
M0AEG in the group from G4IWO. First of all, before I forget, Dave, we are going to run 2 tables at the National Hamfest this year, only on the Friday though, and we're going to look after a Pennine Ham table alongside the GQRP Club again after we successfully did that in Blackpool at the rally up there. So if you're there, Dave, on the Friday, do come and have a look out for us. And yeah, an interesting point you made there, Keith, about the importance of a router nowadays in all the equipment we have at home. And I've not done it myself yet, but I definitely want to set up a UPS to supply power to my router. We've had a couple of very short breaks of power here over the last few weeks, just for short periods, and they've come back on again relatively quickly. But you suddenly realise how important the router is to lots of things that you're doing at home. And it kind of occurred to me, I'd really like to have the safety of the router being in place in order to operate all kinds of equipment. Where I live, we've got a very, very poor 4G signal, so totally reliant on the internet access here at home, both for mobile phone calls and everything else really. So even more important for us, I guess, to have a power protection on the computer modem router here. Yeah, interesting comments, Lou, about the antennas and the Delta Loop in particular, and I'm glad that you're having fun on 17 meters. I've thought conditions have started to improve in the last week or so. I thought they'd gone down very, very badly after the massive amount of solar activity and have come back up again. What hasn't quite come up on a day-to-day basis is activity on the bands. As you know, I'm a CW operator, and I can put out CQ calls for quite a lot of time, and the reverse beacon network and PSK reporter shows me being heard virtually all over the planet very often, but very rarely do you work stations in the number that you're getting hits on the reverse beacon network. But I did have some good fun the other day on both 20 meters and 15 meters, working stateside without any problems, some very strong signals, and without the terrible QSB that we've been suffering on HF for a while. So back to you, Jeff. M0AG in the group, G4IWO.
It's just around the corner, and I'll talk to you around Newcom on Saturday night, because I might not be able to get down and help you understand this year. But if you've got young people coming from the area there, we'll talk about that, and I'll explain the reasons. Okay, over to you then, Bob. Then the 4 extra Alpha Tango in the group, M0AEG. Zero AUG, my group number 4, X-ray Alpha Tango. I don't have too much here, so this time I'll give you my Buddhist statistics. As of this morning, I had 2,500 in 66 separate parks. In order to do that, it took me 8,900 CW contacts, or contacts, of which 7,182 were CW high. I still have 25 countries, 24 of those are DX countries, and I have 227 DX parks. So I really can't complain. My next big certificate, it would be 3,000, and I'm at 2566. So I doubt whether this year I'll hit my 3,000, but if I keep working at it, maybe eventually I'll be able to do that. Currently, though, as of this morning, I was number 928 out of 50,033 hunters. So I really can't complain about my status no matter what happens next. So there you go. Not much else here. I will have a picture tonight if everyone else does. Back to you, Jeff. And M0AUG and 4XAT. The 4X Alpha Tango in the group M0. Yeah, in stages of the overall thing, it's absolutely incredible level. I mean, I really worked at it, and I'm sure that you'll get to the 3,000 points, but obviously that's quite a bit of work between where you are now, which is an incredible result in itself. Okay, we'll carry on around for now and see where we get. I don't think we're as soon as you take the picture out just yet there, Bob. But we'll keep in touch and see how we go. Almost always joining now again. That's the BJW with the LABDT. Over to you, please, Mike, from M0AUG.
That's Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. First a word to Keith about parking fees. In our home QDH here in our city, the town council just a few months ago went absolutely crazy and set up the parking fees to, believe it or not, the equivalent of £3 per every hour. So if you go into the city by car and park there for let's say 5 hours, you have to pay the equivalent of £15. It's absolutely monstrous, but okay, you have to take it or leave it. So far to this theme or topic now. Radio-wise, I have nothing to report, I'm afraid. We had to take the antennas down quite often in the last weeks and let them be on the ground or let them stay on the ground because of lots and lots of warnings about thunderstorms, which gradually didn't come then. But nevertheless, you never know what developments in WX will be, so it's better to be on the safe side. Now, build them up again, the antennas outside, and I hope that the situation on the bands will also improve a little bit, keeping my fingers crossed for it. Would be fun. And Bob and 4XAT, absolutely awesome what you achieve. My heartfelt congratulations to it. You are really unbelievable, my friend. So passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, from my side, I also haven't much to report about far distance QSO so because of the antenna situation and so. But I'm very glad that I managed to finish the Kanga kit, the 20-meter version. And yes, I tried it out in the receiving and sending. It has only one frequency. It's sending on 40. That it is transmitting on 40.060, and receiving on the same frequency, and it has only 1 watt, and I managed to be heard in Bulgaria twice, about 1,500 kilometers away from here, and this is quite amazing. So I'm very pleased with it, and I hope to test it out in the field. The weather conditions will be better. And by the way, I had used once the NFET half wave here outside, and once the antenna which Nick showed on a picture with the red socket and the telescopic whip. This is also quite a good antenna for testing it in the field because it's quite portable and it can be tuned to 1-to-1 SWR, and so I think this will be the right one to take with me if I can make some tests there. So that's all from my side. I have the microphone back to M0 AUG for the group.
Yeah, the weather's certainly caused some problems with people having to put the antennas up and down and such. I'm sure you get the use out there around Java as you get going. And just on a personal note, I still haven't got my new glasses following the cataract surgery. I faced the cataract surgery on both eyes a few weeks ago, and the opticians ordered what they thought were going to be the appropriate glasses. And the glasses would do everything for me, including driving, distance, everything else. Come to look at the computer, nothing. So anyway, we had a meeting the other week, and I'm waiting for them to come back to see what they do with the Mark II version. So I'm still on the old glasses, so I'm not feeling much benefit out of all the treatment so far. That's just a personal side. I know I've been in the same position with cataracts, and this is just hard as well. What's going to be another brain tank with the group? M0 AUG. Hope all is well, Jeff.
M0 AUG group over November Tango. Yeah, okay. Jeff, I hope your friends will be okay there in the intensive care and not well developed in the right way. I'm just thinking to be nice supposed to see if I'm coming up. And yes, I'm coming up. Hope you know, and Mike and Adriana, congratulations on your experiments done there. I'm sorry to hear about the OpenSpot 3. I have an OpenSpot 4 Pro, and I really have some doubts about the battery. I think it doesn't run that long, 6 or 7 hours, although they promised that to be going for 30 hours. That's not the case at all, in my case at least. So, yeah. And Lou, congratulations on your experiments there with the Delta loops. And sorry, I don't have any experience with 2 antennas interfering to each other. That's something that I have not experienced until now, but I can imagine that it plays a role from time to time. Okay, concerning my radio amateur activities, I have been busy during last week and decoding slow scan TV images from the International Space Station. I received 68 pictures of about 20 were okay. I just let my transceiver or receiver running overnight, so because most passes were overnight this time, so I just let my receiver running, and then in the morning I see what I got all right or not. So 20 out of 68. Yeah, well, that's right. And then I participated in the Flanders Mills contest. I was on 40 meters. I called for 90 minutes for 90, only 1.5 hours, and I didn't work with anyone. Just Nick reported from his garage where he was waiting for the tires or something, that I was okay on the Hackfleet. And here was they said it there, but I had no contacts. And then I saw on the question that there were some conditions on this in the direction of Charlie November, Echo Alpha 9, and so on, Charlie Tango. And just I stopped contesting and I went to 2 meters and worked with Echo Alpha 7, so quite happy with that. And because of the bad weather, I put my all my antennas down, also the V2000. And I worked on that antenna while it was down on the concrete of the balcony. I worked an Echo Alpha 8 in FT8, which is unbelievable. So yeah, although I have to tune the WR to get it right. And then afterwards, when the antenna was again up and running, I did work Victor Echo and USA. There were some propagation from time to time into the Americas, into the stateside. And general conditions now, I've seen that having on 70 meters during the afternoon, and I saw some Americans coming up probably to big stations, and I see that there are still some USA stations up there on 70 meters, and there is a YB5 Indonesia, which is quite strong. I tried to work him, but I think he is also a big gun, so I didn't manage to work that one. But anyway, like Dick said, I think the conditions are up. And I do have a picture for the end of the transmission, so I give it back to you, Jeff. Mike 0, AUG, the group, over 8, thank you.
Right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's fine, right, Jeff. And I can say, well, there's only a few on this evening, and obviously I think we're running out of topics to talk about apart from the old spot-free batteries and weather and this sort of thing. So, if it's okay with everybody else, I'll introduce this as a final round. So, what we'll do, as we do normally, we'll leave Keith out at the top of the list for now, and go on straight on to Lou, followed by Dave, and then over to Northern Germany for Mike and Anjana. Then we'll jump back to Nick from the Rap. And as far as the photographs are concerned, Morgan will send this first, followed by Keith, followed by Jeff. So if that's fine, it's okay for everybody. This sounds like a decent running order. And we'll start off with Lou. GAKJJ in the group, M0AG, after you, Lou.
M0 AUG in the group, GKJJ. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Nick, I agree with you that conditions have improved. Although, like you, not with CW, but with SSB, I find that there's very little, there's a lot of inactivity. And you can work lots of stations on FT8, but very few SSB stations. So I do believe that activity is low. And regarding power backup, Keith and Nick, I agree. I've got an EcoFlow 500-watt power bank, which you can charge off the mains or you can charge off solar panels, and it's very portable. I can use it anywhere in the house, and I use it for fish ponds. I've got a couple of fish ponds, and I use it for that if the power goes off and we need it. It's 500 watts, so 100 watts will last for 5 hours, so that's not too bad. And this weekend, I think it's the IOTA contest, and I thought I'd give that a try, although the last contest I had a go at with a bit of a disaster. Anyway, I want to thank Jeff for hosting the net, and please to everyone. It's been a pleasure this week again, and we look forward to meeting you all next week. So back to you, Jeff. M0 AUG in the group, GAKJJ.
GAKJJ in the group, M0 AUG returning. Yeah. The people in the group and their contributions are what make the group live, as you do with the others. just act as a flat post to keep us all together. And the contributions that you give are also make the group. So thanks for joining us now, and thank you for your contribution. Over to you, dear Field Farm Wow. G6 is at Group M0AG.
Thanks very much, Jen, for running the net, and it's nice to come back. I've tried to come back in a couple of times, but we got good news. I just couldn't get in any which way. But now I've got the editor running again. But at least I've got a backup radio with the open spot, and I can press it quite happily. Unfortunately, I will be going up on Saturday. I had enough traffic problems moving up to inches. Up there and back was absolutely terrible. I'm used to bad traffic. That just didn't really. So I'm going to try Saturday early morning, and when I finish hopefully enough for to make a nice trip home if I'm not to it. Otherwise, I'll just find somewhere to stay for the night and stop up there. But just have to see how things go, I'm afraid. Other than that, nothing else from here, but except I just scanned 14, 12, 15, and 20 with no USB activity whatsoever on my antenna. I should appreciate that my antenna is probably close enough to the daylight. The one I took down from my parish was also. And it was even SWR on some bands, so that's not replacing them, and replacing the cable as well. Okay, 7-3 all, and hopefully catch you next week. G6 ZSN in group and store EV. Bye.
G6, Group M0AG returning. Yeah, thanks for being on this evening. I know you've tried it a few times without success, and it's great to have you back on the net. I look forward to catching you with you next week. Over to Northern June if you want to find out, please. DL1BJW with DL8 DDT. Over to you first, Mike. M0AG.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Julie Whiskey with the final. First of all, thank you very much for hosting the net, Jeff, and doing a great job. And thanks to all of you for your company and good information and good thoughts there. It was a real pleasure to be together again, and always a highlight of the week to look forward to Thursday evening. So all the very best to all listeners, and hope to see you all safe and sound next week. Until then, 73s and best wishes from Delta Lima 1 Bravo Julie Whiskey, passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, thank you, Jeff, for hosting the net. It was a real pleasure to be with you here this evening, and for you, I wish you all the best, and I hope that the new glasses will solve all problems. If I got it right, there had been some disturbances here in the reception. Yes, from my personal experiences,
DL8 PGT, we've just lost you there, John. right, PDT with DL1 BJW. Are you still receiving? We lost you in the middle there, Trevor. Oscar November 8 November Tango. Did you hear anything from Angela there, Jeff, to you?
I lost her too, Jeff. I lost her too, yeah.
Thank you for that. Well, just to see what Mike and Angela had some technical difficulties towards the end there. If you cancel you as well, thank you for joining me this evening and for your contributions there. Right, we'll go over now, before we do the photographs, we'll go over to Nick for the final wrap-up, followed by Keith, Bob, Bob, Keith, and Jeff in Belgium. So Nick and Bob, Keith, and Jeff. Go to you, Big Chief White, I'll go in the group M0AG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, thank you very much, Jeff, and thank you, as always, for looking after the net so well and the company of everyone. A couple of points just before I give a bit of information. One to Lou as well, just backing up the point about the router. So I'm definitely going to look into that and find myself something probably about the same power that you've got there, Lou. That will last a few hours if needed. And to Dave, sorry we won't see you at the Hamfest, but 100% do I understand what the drive is like across England on a Friday, and I think it's probably very sensible for you to come up on the Saturday rather than the Friday. We take the normal break in August for summer holidays. I myself am away in France, although I'm sure I will be operating portable from a number of locations. We're going away with the grandchildren, and we're staying in 3 different campsites this year, from the Loire Valley down to southwest France into the Dordogne. And I'll be operating with my IC705 and the vertical antenna, and I'll post information about my activations on the WhatsApp group if anyone's around and looking for a QSO. When we come back, we've got Frank speaking at the club K4 FMH on the first Wednesday in September. I think it's the 3rd of September, and he's going to give an update based on work that he and Scott McIntosh have done with their predictions on solar cycle 25. If you remember, when Frank delivered a talk on this some time ago, a year ago, he mentioned that their predictions were slightly out of kilter. In other words, they were suggesting that solar cycle 25 was going to be better than predicted by the normal bodies, and they're just doing an assessment of how far out they were or not, and what's actually gone on in real life in the last 12 months. So looking forward to that, and I'm also hoping meantime to persuade Frank, who's also done a little presentation on building 5 different antennas for portable use, and I think I'd very much like Frank to come and talk about that. So I'm going to get back to him before I go away next month, and see if we can get Frank to deliver us a talk on that as well. So on that note, oh yes, and to Lou, I've got antennas in my garden here crossing each other. I've got a inverted L end-fed half wave and an off-center fed dipole, and they cross over in the garden in slightly different orientations. I've not noticed any effect at all of the 2 antennas. I'm absolutely certain there is no no interaction between the antennas, although I guess it's quite possible that some of the RF is being picked up on the antenna not in use. But then, of course, if it's just running back down the antenna and back down the cable, it's going away to a safe place. So I can't see that it's likely that you're going to have much interaction between those two antennas. But I don't know. I guess you'll have to experiment, take one down and operate the other one, and then very quickly put the other one back up again, and then just do a real life experiment to see if you can perceive anything which is causing an issue between the two antennas. Anyway, on that note, wish everyone best of 73s. I will be around for the Digital Net next week, and looking forward to catching up with everybody, and looking forward to working a few of our members on the bands over the summer, particularly when I'm stroke P out in France. So 73s everyone, have a lovely evening and a good evening and good day to all those people who catch up with the net here on YouTube. Back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, G4IWO.
Group M0AUG setting. Yeah, thanks for the update on what's coming in the future, and I hope Lou also found the comments on the antennas useful as well, I think. So I know we'll catch up with you next week, and hopefully you might be coming down to the London Club on Saturday morning. So if so, I'll see you there. Otherwise, thanks very much, and we'll catch up with you next week. So, right, who are we going to do first? Over to you there, Bob. November 4 XL for Tango in the group, M0AUG. Over to you for your picture, please, Bob. M0AUG with the group, November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango. First of all, thank you for being a control officer once again. Fantastic job you did, and I look forward every week to this net, and also to our meetings on Wednesday evenings when we have them. So that's good. This evening, I have a picture of a ship that currently is in the Skagerrak. It's en route from Kristiansand to Oslo. About a week ago, one of my WhatsApp people sent a picture out, and they sent a picture of the antenna on the Misden while this ship was at Stavanger, Norway. Well, of course, I like the picture of the antenna, but I like the picture of the ship so much that I'm going to send it out this evening. And please forgive me if I pronounce the name of the ship wrong. It's a German name. It's Großherzogen Elizabeth, and it's a sailing ship. So stand by, and I'll send it first. Thanks, Bob. I think it's a virtual perfect picture. There's just one item which is about 5 or 6 lines up, which is showing a black box, but I don't know whether that's a doorway or a block there, Bob. But nice picture, that really is. Back to you. Thank you very much, Jeff. If anyone wants to send again, I can send it again. Back to you, Jeff. Thanks, Bob. I'll pass over to Keith for your opinion there. GM4JK is the group M0 AEG.
From GM4JK, yeah, just got one block, Bob, which is at the base of the third mast, missing, otherwise 100%.
Okay, I'll send it again right now.
From GM4JK, 100% Bob. A lovely picture and a lovely backdrop on it.
Joining us this evening, Bob, and thanks for your contribution. And as always, we'll look forward to your company next week. So, over to you, your download, Keith, please. GM4JK is in the group, M0AEG.
From GM4JK, yeah, sorry about that, I thought we doubled. Yeah, 100% that one, Bob. And I was just saying, lovely backdrop on the ship there. And also, congrats on your 2566 contacts. That's brilliant, I must admit. Right, okay, mine's on its way. It's a famous ship. It's the Royal Britannia with its entourage around it, correct one?
Thanks, Keith. 2 blocks on the very top line, and one just where the hole goes into the water. Do you want to try again, please? Perfect picture with me, Keith. Just see how Bob gets it. Over to you, Bob. It's fine, Keith. The top line I have several missing. I can crop that off because all it is sky. I have everything that is important on that photograph. So thank you. Thanks, Bob. Over to you, Jeff.
M0AUG.
Okay, M0AUG, the group coordinate November Tango. First of all, thank you very much, Jeff, for organizing all this and for sharing the meeting. And I'm just looking if I'm coming up on the dashboard. Yeah, I'm there on the dashboard, so that's good news, Chai. And both pictures 100% from the first time, so that's good news. My picture will be a replica of the ship of Captain Cook, which is called the Endeavour, if I remember well. And here it is coming. This is the Endeavour from Captain Cook.
Perfect picture with me of the Endeavour. I'll pass it back to Keith.
Yeah, perfect picture with me, Jeff, and over to Bob.
Picture here also, Jeff. Good picture. Very, very beautiful picture.
Okay, thank you all, and back to Jeff, Mike 0 AUG, the people when it's under Tango.
Okay. Thanks everyone for the contributions tonight and the match. It's been a good match. Not too many was on tonight, just a number of 9. We've had a good match. Some slight conversation between us all. So, look forward to catching up with you all on the digital mat next week. And no doubt, catching up with what's going on here, also the group in the meantime. So, from me, M0 AUG, 7 please everyone, and also to our listeners on the North Hand, and also the YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us on the YouTube channel as well. 7 for everyone.
Good evening from me, GM4JKZ. I'm going to disappear over to the HS pants now, and cracking pictures tonight. It's most enjoyable. 730 or GM4JKZ listening, thank you as well.
Success in the future. Thanks for joining us. 3.